Now imagine in 16th century, you are forced to leave everything that you know. You are forced to leave your land, your clan, your relatives, your sense of identity, and you take a boat and you just sail. When you sail, you don't know whether you're going to live, whether you're going to, whether your boat is going to reach in one place or not. Maybe we don't know how many people drown. Out of 5 children, if one person chose to convert to Christianity, he would inherit the entire ancestral property and the others would get nothing. So one group of people went to Kashmir, and even today the Kashmiri Hindus, they are Saraswat Brahmins. One group stayed in Rajasthan and Gujarat. They are also known as the Ojhas and all. They are also known as Saraswat Brahmins there. Another group went to the Doab of the Ganga, today's Bihar, Bengal area. So that is why some of the Konkanis still describe themselves as Dorke. So Gaud Desh geographically is that area along the eastern Bihar and Bengal border. 66 families त्यांनी 66 बसयल्यो. That is why the area is known as 66. 30 families त्यांनी तिसवाडीत बसयल्यो. That is why it is known as तिसवाडी. आणि 12 families त्यांनी बारदेसान बसयल्यो. That is why that district was known as Bardes. Like Shanbag was the village accountant. Pais were also people who were keeping tally of the village's accounts. Kamats were agriculturists. Nayaks were the soldiers. So the Kuladevata temples remained in Goa, and the Kuladevata temples became a united factor. Itli varsa, itle अन्याय जाऊन, itle migrations जाऊन सुद्धा people held on to their culture, they held on to their language, they held on to their Kuladevatas. And sometimes they ask me, how come all the big temples in Goa are located very close to each other?
Exactly,
Like Kaule, Ramnathi, Bandoda, ती इतली लागी कशी असतात? त्यांना मागताना सांगची पडटा की ती लागी नाशिल्ली. That is why Goan temples all have domical shikaras. They don't have those typical spire-like shikaras.
This entire history was very emotionally striking.
Somebody needs to do a PhD on the communication strategy of this mart and how it has brought so many people together.
आज कसं गरज असा कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग जावं, मठ जावं, देवस्थान जावं, आम्ही अडॉप्ट जावया. इट्स टाइम ऑफ ग्लोबलायझेशन. देर आर नो बॉर्डर्स. मंगलम. नमस्कार. सार्ध 75 मानोत्सवांत आज आमकां वी आर रियली ऑनर्ड जॉइन जाता आसाची मिसेस शेफाली वैद्यमान. कोणाक गोतना शी इज मल्टीलिंग्वल ऑथर, स्कॉलर, एस्पेशली इन द फील्ड ऑफ टेम्पल्स अँड इंडियन टेक्सटाईल. आणि गोवाच कसं टेम्पल्साची टोटली हिस्ट्री आसा जावं एस्पेशली इन द सारस्वत कम्युनिटी. आनी भितर तिगेल भरपूर एक्सपर्टीज आसा. मॅम
नमस्कार.
वेलकम टू द मठ आणि सार्ध 75 मानोत्सवाक.
Thank you.
History आमगेल सारस्वत कम्युनिटी स्टार्ट केल्यारी. How did it begin? सारस्वत.
As the name suggests, नावातच असा की सारस्वत आम्ही ज्यांना म्हणतात त्याचे 2 अर्थ असतात. एक म्हणजे सरस्वती नदीच्या तीरार रावतले लोक, आणि दुसरे म्हणजे सरस्वती देवी जी विद्येची आणि वाणीची देवता असा, तिचे भक्त देव. सो तिचे भक्त लोक. So people who have expertise in writing, in the arts, very learned, very intellectual people. But the story that we know today, as per all the history books that goes back, is that people were living on the banks of the Saraswati river, which at one point of time was a very, very mighty river. तुम्ही जर वेदातली वर्णना पळयत तर वेदात गंगेचो उल्लेख कमी येता आणि सरस्वतीचो उल्लेख चड येता. आणि सरस्वती इज कॉल्ड Ambitama Naditama. The best of the rivers, the best of the mothers are the epithets used for Saraswati, not for the Ganga or not for the Yamuna. But thousands of years ago, there was a seismic event, and पहिली Yamuna and Sindhu were both actually Yamuna was a major tributary of the Saraswati. So Yamuna आता गंगेक मेळटा in Prayag, but at that point of time it used to run into the Saraswati, and Saraswati was a very mighty river. And almost all the sort of Sindhu civilization, Indus civilization that we call it, is actually a civilization in between the Sindhu and Saraswati. So the right name for that should be the Sindhu Saraswati civilization, not the Indus Valley civilization first. So today if we see some of the greatest excavations that have been taken place, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro everybody knows, but very few people know about Rakhigadi. जे आज हरियाणाक आसा, जे सरस्वती न्हंयच्या तिरार आशिल्ले, आनी दॅट इज अ सायट दॅट इज बिगर देन हरप्पा एंड मोहनजोदारो कंबायन्ड. एंड इवन नाव इन राखीगडी यू आर स्टील डिस्कवरिंग थिंग्स. मेनी ऑफ द न्यू आर्किओलॉजिकल digs and proofs the old books do not even have, because they were based only on हडप्पा and मोहनजोदारो. सो तातूंतल्यान आमकां खूब नवीन म्हायती मेळ्ळ्या आनी तातूंतल्यान आमकां कळटा, एंड दिस इज बीन प्रूव्ड इवन विथ सॅटेलायट पिक्चर्स, ki there was a mighty river called Saraswati which originated into the Himalayas, which flew down towards the Gujarat coast, and which basically met the Arabian Sea at what is today's Rann of Kutch, which at one point of time was an extremely fertile area, because that was the place where the river met the sea. आणि ती रिवर इतली रिच आशिल्ली आनी इतली समृद्ध आशिल्ली की सगळी जी सिविलायझेशन आशिल्ली ती ताच्या काठाकाठान आशिल्ली. एंड इट वॉज अ रिमार्केबली एडवान्स सिविलायझेशन. म्हणजे आमी सगळ्यांनी इन सिविक्स बुक्स वी हॅव स्टडीड दॅट द इंडस व्हॅली सिविलायझेशन वॉज सो एडवान्स दॅट दे हॅड टाउन प्लॅनिंग, दे हॅड टॉयलेट्स, दे हॅड गुड रोड्स, दे हॅड वेल प्लॅन्ड cities. हे आमी सगळे खबर आसा. They had burnt brick houses, but that is actually the characteristics of Sindhu Saraswati civilization. And you can see the remnants all the way through Haryana to Gujarat, even along that same Doab region, which will bring me to the migration theory. So the story of our community goes that Rishi Dadiji had a son called Saraswat Muni, who was an expert on the Vedas, and he used to have a hermitage on the banks of the Saraswati. Now the Saraswati started to dry up because of seismic activity, and the Yamuna changed its course. So Yamuna was a major river that was emptying into the Saraswati, and the Saraswati started to dry up. How it started to dry up? A river that mighty doesn't dry up in just one night, you know. So what happens is, in some places the water starts disappearing, so the river becomes a series of lakes. And even today, if you follow the course of the Saraswati river, you see that the mighty Pushkar Sarovar was actually once the Saraswati's part, but it became a lake because the river started drying up in parts. How do we know this? Because in the Mahabharata, there is a ullekh that when Balaram did not want to join the Mahabharata war because he had taught both Bhim and Duryodhan, so he was really disgusted with the fight. So he said, I'm going on a pilgrimage. And this Mahabharata narrates his pilgrimage. Where did he go? And even there, it is very clear that the Saraswati had started to dry up, and because of that, it had started to turn into different lakes. And what we see today's Rann of Kutch has become Rann of Kutch because the river dried, and that is why that whole place became very arid and very salty.
The drying up of the river dates back to the Mahabharata era.
Mahabharataच्या पहिली. Mahabharatak, the river had already started to dry up. Nobody really knows the exact date of the seismic event, but it is definitely many years before the Mahabharata, because the Mahabharata mentions that the river has already started to dry up. So when the river started to dry up, obviously people did not, it affected the rainfall, that there is no evaporation. If there is no evaporation, rainfall gets affected. People, animals started drying up, fields started drying up, there was no water for agriculture, so there was nothing to eat. So people started to migrate. So they migrated, but it is said that Rishi Saraswat, he stayed there and he guarded the knowledge of the Vedas because somebody had to protect it. That is the legend that we know of in our Puranas. And then later on, when for a while the rain came back, some of the people came back and they learnt the Vedas from him. After that, again, because the river, because of the seismic event and because of the change of course of the river, there was slowly desertification of the entire belt. So what we say today as the arid regions of Haryana, Gujarat and Rajasthan were actually all once very fertile lands along the Saraswati river. But तशी river dry जावपाक लागली आणि लोकांक खावपाक मेळना जालें, एग्रीकल्चराक उदक मेळना जालें. So people started migrating. They were very learned people who had learned from Saraswat Muni, and they were from the banks of the Saraswati river. So that is why they were the children of Saraswati. We are all children of Saraswati. So that is why they were known as Saraswat. So they started moving in different directions. Wherever, even today, right, we go wherever, whichever state that offers us the best job or the best careers or the best prospects. similarly, in those days also, people started migrating in different directions. So one group of people went to Kashmir, and even today, the Kashmiri Hindus, they are Saraswat Brahmins. One group stayed in Rajasthan and Gujarat. They are also known as the Ojhas and all. They are also known as Saraswat Brahmins there. Another group went to the Doab of the Ganga. So they traversed the entire central Indian plains and they went towards Tirut, that is Trihotra, that is today's Bihar, Bengal area on the border area. So they settled there. Another group went downwards, they went to Dwarka, and from Dwarka they came to the west coast. So that is why some of the Konkanis still describe themselves as Dorke, which comes from Dwarka, because they migrated via Dwarka. So there were different routes, but eventually after many generations they ended up in Goa.
And you mentioned that we originated from the
Banks
Haryana,
of- yeah.
Gujarat, and Rajasthan. So
Banks of the
those were
Saraswati,
banks of the
yes. Yes.
Saraswati River, and from there, Kashmir, Bengal, and Bihar
Yeah.
region,
Yeah.
and a group came to the Gujarat.
Via Gujarat, Goa.
Goa.
Yeah.
Okay. आता आमकां कसं गौड सारस्वत ब्राह्मण म्हणतात.
हा.
ते गौड म्हण टर्मिनॉलॉजी खंय ओरिजिनेट केलाय आणि वाय?
So Gaud Desh, even today, that is why you hear the words Gaud Bengal. So Gaud Desh geographically is that area along the eastern Bihar and Bengal border. That region is still known as Gaud. So that is why the Vaishnavism that originated in that area is still today known as Gaudiya Vaishnav. Because it belongs to that geographical region. So obviously the community migrated there, and from there they migrated to the coast, because maybe one batch which were known as Dorkes had already migrated there, and there was connection between them, and they obviously realized that this is a more fertile land. आणि परशुरामान असे म्हणतात की तांणी फॅमिलीज हाडल्यो, 66 फॅमिलीज तांणी सासष्टीत बसयल्यो, दॅट इज वाय द एरिया इज नोन एज सासष्टी. 30 फॅमिलीज तांणी तिसवाडीत बसयल्यो, दॅट इज वाय इट इज नोन एज तिसवाडी. आणि 12 फॅमिलीज तांणी बार्देसान बसयल्यो, दॅट इज वाय that district was known as
These
Bardes.
families came, all these families were from the Bengal region, or a mixture of all?
It was a mixture. There is no conclusive evidence to say that all of them came from Bengal or all of them came from Dwarka. So my personal theory, which whatever research I have done, says that there were simultaneous migrations done. Some people came from Gujarat also to this region. Some people came from Gaud Desh also to this region, where they sort of converged, and they brought with them, as I said earlier, the best practices of agriculture, the best practices of learning, and they settled down here and they started Gram Samsthas. They built temples to their the gods that they had brought with them, and they were all the gods. They were various avatars, various manifestations of Shiva, like Mangesh, Nagesh, under different names. There were many manifestations of Devi, like Bhagwati, like Shanta Durga. There were manifestations of Vishnu also, because the deities are eternal.
Yeah.
So they built their deities here, they built temples, and they started worshipping. And they mostly settled along the rivers. And the story is that Parshuram invited them once he reclaimed the sea and he got back the land. Now, this is a story in our Puranas, but if you go back to the geographical history, you will see that this land has been created when the sea was reclaimed. You call it seismic event, you call it Parshuram story or whatever, but the fact remains that the Sapta Konkans were created when the sea went back. And that is when these people settled, and this area was again a very fertile place. And these people were already very accomplished in agriculture, and they were very accomplished in learning, both. And this region was very fertile because there were many rivers which were feeding this land, Goa particularly, which was known as Aparanta then, one of the most fertile places. Those had settled here, and they started very unique things in Goa. They started something called Grama Samstha, where the villages where they were settled, those people would get together and they would do cooperative farming. They realized that if they do farming in small patches, it would not be very feasible. So the entire village would get together, they would decide what crops do we take, and this land is extremely fertile. तशें म्हणटा वर्सांतल्यान 3 crops घेताले, not just 1 or 2, and they could plan it. So in the rainy season, they would mostly grow rice. In the second season, they would mostly grow pulses, vegetables, like that. They were very rotational cropping. And they knew how to do water management. Even now, if you go in local people go in villages now, you will see that they have a very traditional way of water management, which is they would build small mud bunds on the river or a stream. So the water would be it would go step by step. So the entire river would not be dammed, and these would be mud dams. So they could be built and broken. So ह्या भागातली उदक मेळ्ळे शेताक की तो बांध सोडलो ते मुखार गेले.
You mentioned that agriculture. आम्ही एक expertise शी आशिल्ली
Yeah.
सारस्वत
Yeah,
community चा. Some surnames which appear in our like be it Kamath or Kamath specifically refers to something called Kamati or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
who is
Yeah.
an expert in agriculture.
Yeah.
Something
They-
like that. Can you
all
describe
of,
all those surnames?
No, I don't have an expertise on that. I have only very basic knowledge
Yeah,
on this, so I'm not
whichever
going to
ones.
touch on this. But almost all of these names were basically profession specific. Like Shanbag was the village accountant. Pais were also people who were keeping tally of the village's accounts. Kamats were agriculturists. Nayaks were the soldiers.
Okay.
Who were leading soldiers. So all of these were actually profession names which later on became community names, and the entire life of the village was very community centered. All the decisions were taken together. They used to celebrate their festivals together, and all the socio-cultural life of that village was basically focused around the temple. And every temple had some clans affiliated to it. For example, the Mahalsa Narayani temple, which was originally in Verna, which was one of the biggest temples in Goa at that point in time, and it had two villages attached to it, Nagwa and Verna. So the clans from Nagwa and clans of Verna, they both worshipped the Devi Mahalsa. And it is said that the temple was so beautiful, it had a lot of exquisite woodwork, that when the temple was ordered to be demolished by a captain from Rachol, Portuguese captain, he sent one of his aides to go and do the survey of the temple. And that guy actually came and visited the temple, and he found the temple so beautiful that he actually wrote back saying that the temple structure is beautiful. So he advised the captain of the Rashol seminary to destroy the murti, but do not destroy the building. He said, we'll convert this building as it is into a church. It was so beautiful. It has so much of exquisite woodwork. Obviously, he did not listen, and that temple was also destroyed, and the murti was shifted to Mardol, as you know. So this happened in the 16th century. Anyway, I'm jumping a little bit forward. But the Saraswat community, which stayed in Goa for like thousands of years, they had established many best practices. They had established the best practices in agriculture. They established the best practices in trading. They were obviously scholars, Vedic scholars. So Gaud Padacharya Mutt is one of the oldest mutts in Goa. We know that Gokarn Partagali Mutt has a continuous history of 552 years. So obviously there was a lot of spiritual guidance also there, and the community was devout Hindus, and they were scholars of the Vedas. And even today actually Goa still has a tradition of learning the Vedas, which not many people know about.
Saraswat community ka Sanasa, they're known for integrity and intellect. So how do you think that carried from the original tribe which was along the banks of the Saraswati river all till now, throughout the thousands of years?
See, it's a tradition of learning, right? We call ourselves Saraswats because we stayed on the banks of the Saraswati, but also because we were worshippers of Saraswati, of Vagdevi, and we were very good at learning. Even today, even under the British rule, even under the Marathas, the people who were interpreters were most likely to be Saraswats than any other community, because we have a natural felicity with languages as a community, and obviously the community kept marrying the same people. So some skills you learn them either genetically or you learn them in the way you're brought up. So there was a lot of focus on learning. There was a lot of focus on understanding the rituals. There were a lot of focus on going back to the roots. That has continued for many years. It continues even today.
Our language Konkani, how did it get associated with the Saraswat? Was it originally the Konkani language? Originally, because the Saraswati river banks and then when we came from Bengal or when we reached Goa, then form jalki.
So there is a scholar called Shrikant Talageri who has done a lot of research on the origins of the Konkani language, and he believes that Konkani today, as we speak, has some of the words which are closest to the purest Sanskrit roots. So obviously it is all Indian languages, almost all Indian languages have originated from Sanskrit. But Konkani even today, for example, the word for tree in Konkani is ruk, which comes straight from Sanskrit vriksh.
Okay.
Or Konkani sune is the dog, right? Which comes straight from Sanskrit shwan.
Swan.
Konkani uda is straight from Sanskrit udak.
Okay.
Which in Marathi udak is pani.
Yeah.
In Marathi ruk is zhad. In Marathi shwan is kutra. But in Konkani we have these languages, and even if you read the Dnyaneshwari, for example, which was written somewhere around the 11th or 12th century CE, you will find that many of the words, it is a book in Marathi, but many of the book words in that in that work are actually still practiced in Konkani even today. So obviously it is a very ancient language, and it is a language that the community has been speaking for thousands of years, if not more. But what interests me is that after the forced migration happened, after the Portuguese attacked here, and after the community was basically given only three choices, either to convert or to get killed or to migrate. So majority of the community chose to migrate because that's the best thing they could do under the circumstances.
But why? What Saraswat community कसं तिथलं हे करत की the Portuguese or the invaders basically gave us the carrot or the stick.
Yeah.
I'm Saraswat the stick on जाऊच्या to the religion despite all this. कशी ते एक हे element?
Zeal खंयच्यान
हाय,
आयलें.
हाय,
The
हाय,
zeal, I think
I mean,
it is
what's the strongest reason for them to do it?
I think the community was always very connected to dharma because we were the keepers of the Vedas, we were scholars, and in all through, this was not the first migration, right? We had migrated from the banks of the Saraswati. We've been migrating through the course of history, and every time we are migrating, we have never really forgotten our roots, we have never really forgotten our language, we have never really forgotten dharma as such, as a community. So somewhere it's civilizational memory also, no?
Right.
It is, your ancestors have done that, and probably you have seen it, probably we need to carry it forward. And it doesn't always have to be told. सदा सांगपाचाय म्हण नासता. ते केन्ना केन्नाय तुम्ही पळयतात आजूबाजू, तेन्ना तुमकां दिसता की हाय बरोबर आसा. थोडे लोक कन्वर्ट जाले बी. Even among the Saraswat community. That is why you have this whole Christian Brahmin community in Goa, which is basically the Saraswats who got converted. But remember one thing, when the Portuguese came here and when they were very brutal, they came here in 1510 and they started religious persecution in right earnest from 1540, which doesn't mean that they didn't persecute between 1510 and 1540, they did. But after 1540, it became a regular pogrom. It became like a full-scale activity when the Jesuit and the Franciscan orders came here, and they had a papal bull that you can convert anybody. So that is when the mass destruction of temples started, the mass conversion started, and that is when people were told that basically you cannot remain Hindus and live under Portuguese territories. You have to, if you want to be Hindus, you have to go out. They did that, and the worst, how do you call it, stress of Portuguese conversions was on the Saraswat community, because the Saraswat community were thought leaders at that point of time, and whatever the community did, the others followed, other communities followed. So tank convert kele ki they were the priests, they were the teachers, they were the Ayurvedic doctors, they were the people who were basically leading everybody else in adherence to dharma. So the leader jar convert kele, then everybody else will convert far more easily, right? And if the leader resists, then everybody else also resists. So the Kshatriyas and the Saraswats both resisted conversions. Like I come from a village called Kunkolim, which was a Kshatriya village. So there was actually an armed uprising against the Portuguese. So there was resistance, but at that point of time, the situation was like that a lot of people chose to convert outside. Now also remember that when the Portuguese came in 1510, people never thought that the Portuguese rule will last for 452 years. They probably thought that they will come here, they will loot, they will just take the money and they will go back in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So maybe some part of it was strategic also. If there are 5 people and you cannot and Portuguese did some very discriminatory laws that out of 5 children, if one person chose to convert to Christianity, he would inherit the entire ancestral property and the others would get nothing.
Okay.
So maybe for some people, and it's a theory again, that it may have been a strategic decision ki actor out the law,
Right.
and they would assume that the Portuguese will go back, and then all the other people will come back and they would reclaim it. That is one theory. But the fact remained, what we see is that there was a mass migration of the community all over. So people went to Kerala, people went to Karnataka, people went to Maharashtra, wherever they could. And there were people who stayed back in Goa as we know today. But remember, for almost 200 years, the Portuguese part of Goa was basically limited to 3 places: Salsette, Bardes, Tiswadi, and the city of Old Goa. So it was one small portion of the Goa's map as you saw it today. So people who were thrown out of those regions, they went and settled in other parts of Goa where at that point of time were not under Portuguese rule. Just my family, we come from Verna. But they chose to move out and they settled down in Kunkulim, which was at that point of time not under Portuguese rule. It came under Portuguese rule later. But by that time, and by the time the Portuguese took over the entire Goa, their conversion zeal had also abated a little bit.
Yeah.
The worst atrocities happened between, say, 1540 to the middle of the 17th century. After that, their regime also changed. So things changed in Goa also. But the most, like the Inquisition started, the destruction of temples, all happened around 1540 to 1590, 1580. So that was then all the temples which were there in those villages, they were shifted out and they were moved to Antruz Mahal, which is in and around today's Ponda, and where they were reconstructed after about 150 years. So अशी केन्नाय जाल ना की आज मूर्ती व्हेली आणि फाल्यां व्हडलें देवूळ बांदलें.
Right.
पहिली जेन्ना मूर्ती व्हेली तेन्ना ती लहान झोपडेनच आशिल्ली, बिकॉज पीपल डिड नॉट हॅव द wherewithal ना. They themselves were scattered all over, but they kept their emotional attachment and their faith, not just with dharma. Yes, they did, but they could have chosen to forget their temples here, and they could have built new temples in Karnataka, which they did. But they never forgot their affiliation with their Kuladevatas. So the Kuladevata temples remained in Goa, and the Kuladevata temples became a united factor. So that is why you have Mahalsa Kulavis and Mahalsa Mahajan. Mahajans are people who stayed back in Goa, and Kulavis are people who migrated to other states. So they took 2 things with them, 3 things. One is their language, which they never let die. 2 is their faith in their Kuladevatas, and 3rd is their entrepreneurial zeal. Which you see, that is why you see that it's
Anywhere the Saraswats go, they get adopted.
Yeah, and I always feel that it is a story that's never been told. Now imagine, in 16th century, you are forced to leave everything that you know. You are forced to leave your land, your clan, your relatives, your sense of identity, and you take a boat. All you can take is probably a little bit of gold and a little bit of jewelry with you, and you just sail. When you sail, you don't know whether you're going to live, whether you're going to, whether your boat is going to reach in one place or not. Maybe we don't know how many people drown. That has never been recorded. But okay, assuming that you don't drown and you reach the coast of Karnataka, you don't even know the language there. You are starting new. And in places like Basroor and all, I have read accounts that the local community was so scared of the Portuguese, so they were also very scared to give these people sharan. So ताणी तांकां सांगलें की आमी तुमकां कांय हांगा दवरपाक शकनात, because Portuguese will come and attack us. So then these people said, but where will we go? So then those people said, you live near the river bank and तुम्ही थंय रावात. So they stayed there in those conditions as refugees, but they never gave up and they never cried victim, and they never said ki आमचेर इतलो अन्याय जाला. They just basically gathered their life together, gathered the pieces of their lives together, and they rebuilt lives for themselves. And today you see the whole of Mangalore city is actually built by the Saraswat community largely.
So this is where Mangalore city began, you are saying?
Yes.
These were the origins.
Yes. The entire coast actually. Pura, if you see the Konkan community, you can find it all the way from Karwar, all the way to Mangalore and even beyond. In Kerala also. And wherever they went, they took their language, as I said. But obviously after centuries of staying in those places, they got a lot of local influences in their languages. So Konkani is this absolutely unique language which is written in multiple scripts. So in Goa itself, Konkani is written in Devanagari and Roman.
Yeah.
In Karnataka, it's written in Kannada script. In Kerala, it's written in Malayalam script. In Maharashtra, it's written in Devanagari script again. So, but they got a lot of influence. So even in North Goa, or if you see in areas around Malvan and all, the Saraswat community speaks Konkani, but there are a lot of Marathi words in it.
Yeah.
If you go to Karnataka, you speak Konkani, but there are a lot of Kannada words in it. You said you're from Shirshi, somebody is from Udupi, I am from Goa.
Yeah.
Mujhi Konkani वेगळी, तुमची कोंकणी वेगळी, तांची
Exactly.
कोंकणी वेगळी. But म्हाका कळता तुम्ही किती म्हणता ते.
Yeah.
तू कळटा हांव किती म्हणटा ते. So that is the adherence to language, which we have never given up. And that is again, I think, a remarkable story. की इतली वर्सां, इतले अन्याय जावन, इतले मायग्रेशन जावन सुद्धा people held on to their culture, they held on to the language, they held on to their Kuladevatas, and that is how they passed this knowledge around. Taje khatir, even after all these years, here when I come to celebrate the 550 years of this mutt, I hear Konkani from Kerala also, I hear Konkani from Karnataka also,
Yeah.
I hear Konkani from Maharashtra also, and I hear Konkani from all parts of Goa, which is really remarkable. I don't think there is a story like this anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Now, तुम्ही mention केलं, you are an expert in Goan temples.
Huh.
So when these communities moved their Kuldevatas to the inner parts of the jungle,
Yeah.
कशें आशिल्लें दवरतले, if we
So
could imagine?
Then if you imagine, and some of the accounts is like when the Devi and Devtas were moved, remember now you can just put it on use a crane, or you can put on a truck and you can transport. But in those days it was not possible. So even to cross the river, especially when there is a enemy force running behind you, even to cross just the river and take the Kamakshi Murti to Shiroda, where basically you had to just cross the river,
Yeah.
or to move Saptakoteshwar from Diwar Island, or to move Devki Krishna from Sodan Island to Mashel. The distance wise, in today, if you see, the distances are very less. You feel that 1 hour you can reach, but it is today's 1 hour. In those days, it was not possible. Secondly, you cannot travel in the day. Because the Portuguese will pursue you.
Correct.
You have to travel in the dead of the night. You have to cross the rivers, there are no bridges. So somebody has to swim, somebody has to lift that Avzad Murti, put it on a raft and swim. There are crocodiles in the river, there are lots of things in the river. There is no
And even the
electric light.
forest, the wild animals and
Yeah.
all.
There is no electric lights anywhere, so
Correct.
you can't see what you're doing. You can't even put up mashals because somebody will see the lights and they will come behind you. So in all these circumstances, you can cover only very little distance every day. So it was not like one day you suddenly take the murti and within half an hour you reach the temple.
Exactly.
No, the entire process must have taken at least weeks, if not months. And then when you go to these places were all jungles in the Antruz Mahal. And the locals also had to support you, because you take the murti there, but if the local villagers are not supporting you,
Correct.
then how can you keep the murti there?
Correct.
Credit is due to the villagers from that Antruz Mahal, that all of them gave place to these gods, and they said they can stay here. So the murtis were probably put in makeshift structures and done the puja for many years, for almost 150 years. ताजेनंतर की झालंय, ताजेनंतर the Marathas became very powerful in Maharashtra, and a lot of Saraswats who had gone out of Goa and who had gone to Karnataka, who had gone to Kerala, they became very prosperous through the dint of their hard work. Many of them attained very high positions in the courts. In the court of Kochi, in the court of the kings in Honavar in Karnataka, in the Maratha kingdom, under the Peshwas, under the Sardars, like there was a gentleman called Suktankar, who was a very powerful Sardar in the Scindia court in Gwalior. So when they became people of eminence, they had the money and the power to give back to their Kuladevatas. They had never forgotten their Kuladevatas. So the minute they had the wherewithal, the minute they had the financial power, the minute they had the political power, they ensured that they could buy the land and they could build temples. So that is how temples like Shantadurga were built. That is how temples like Mangeshi were built. That's how all the temples became to be built in that area. Which is why today I bring a lot of groups to show them Goa beyond the beach. And sometimes they ask me, how come all the big temples in Goa are located very close to each other?
Exactly, yeah.
Like Kaule, Ramnathi, Bandoda, ती इतली लागी लागी कशी असत? त्यांना मागतांक सांगचे पडटा की ती लागी नाशिल्ली. ती वेगवेगळी गावातली आशिल्ली, पण जेन्ना पर्सिक्युशन जालें, जेन्ना देवळां तोडली गेली, तेन्ना त्यो सगळ्यो मुर्ती आणि तेन्ना अंत्रुज महाल वॉज अंडर सावंदेकर्स हू वर हिंदू किंग्स. They were feudatories of the Adilshahis. So that is when those murtis were shifted there. And after almost 150 years, somewhere in the middle of the 18th century, these temples started getting built. And that is why, because there was another question that you might ask, anybody might ask. If you see the temples in Goa today, and if you see their architecture, and you see temples in, say, Tamil Nadu, or you see temples in Karnataka even, or Kerala, it's very different, right? So why are Goan temples so different? Goan temples are different because there was a break in the temple building tradition. There is a temple in Goa which is pre-Portuguese, which is the Tamdi Sudla temple. It was built by the Yadavas, and you see that temple architecture is the typical stone temple. There are temples built by Kadambas, which even today exists, a couple of them. They look very different from the temples that we have in Goa today. So in this 150 years, there was a break in the temple construction itself. 150 years, कोणी temple बांधलीच नात. And knowledge was mostly passed from father to son.
150 years exactly, where in the entire range?
Say from 1540 onwards to about 18, middle of
During
the 19th century.
Peak of the Portuguese.
Yes, after the destruction, between the rebuilding, so around between 1540 to 1580, most temples were destroyed. So Tajanantar temples rebuilt zali somewhere in the middle of the 19th century. So around 1840, around that frame, I forget the exact time frame. ती मधली पण पिरियड आशिल्ली, त्या मधली पिरियडान नवीन टेम्पल्स कोणी बांधली ना.
Because it was very tough.
And this is in that period, there are 4 generations of temple builders have born and gone. So तांकां काही कामच नाशिल्लें. तांचे कडेन बुक्स तेन्ना book knowledge was very less. It was mostly learned father to son, mother to daughter, right? So ती knowledge pass करतलोच कोण नाशिल्लो. आणि most of the shilpis and most of the temple builders and most of the carpenters, they also got converted. Just as the Saraswats got converted, all Hindus got
So
converted,
when
right?
they came, they brought the Portuguese
Architecture a little bit.
Okay.
So by the time the temple started getting rebuilt, they had included elements that they had learnt from other architecture, like, you know, big domes. That is why Goan temples all have domical shikharas. They don't have those typical spire-like shikharas. They have huge sabha mantaps. They have a lot of light going on. So that is because of those influences. But at the same time, the civilizational memory of a temple, so they knew that a temple has to have a garbhagriha, a temple has to have a shikhara, temple has to have a sabha mantap, a temple has to have a pradakshina path, a temple has to have a pushkarini. So if you
The
see
core
any
elements were
Goan
maintained.
temple, every single core element is there. But it
Only the
looks very
aesthetics
different.
and the
Aesthetics is
surface level
different, yes.
ones were
Because aesthetics
adopted.
were adopted.
And all those hardships, this story was, this entire history was very emotionally striking. Khanchan, the present day, how do you feel about it? आज है celebration सार्ध पंचशतमानोत्सव
It makes me very, very happy. Very, very happy actually. आणि पर्टिक्युलरली ह्या स्वामी महाराजांनी ज्या पद्धतीने कम्युनिटीक एकठांय हाडला, दॅट इज अनहर्ड ऑफ. म्हणजे सिंपल थिंग्स लाईक रामनाम जप, 1 कोटी रामनाम जप. आय लिव्ह इन पुणे. पुण्यात आसा community, but it is not as it was not as close knit as it was, say, in Goa or in Mangalore or whatever. People were scattered because they are all moved there for different jobs. पण हांव आतां गेल्ली वर्सभर पुण्याक पळयता की the community has come together. Every Saturday लोक येतात of all age groups. They used to come together and they would do Ram Jap. Everybody felt like they were a part of something bigger, some bigger dream. Individually कितें वर्शिप करचे पेक्षा सगळ्यांनी एकत्र येवन कितें तरी करचें हें हें जें आसा तें ह्या स्वामी महाराजांनी खूब बरे रितीन केलां. आणि इवन द राम मूर्ती फॉर विच इवन मोदीजी हिमसेल्फ केम, that and got the entire people of Goa together, not just the community, even though the temple and murti has been funded by the community, but the entire larger Hindu community, Samaj, came together for this festival. And even today, for all the functions, nobody is checking who is coming to the temple for darshan, right? The temple is open for everybody. पूण जो एक सगळ्या समाजाक बरोबर घेवन वचपाची जी हें आसा, जे कम्युनिकेशन करपाचें तुमचे सारकें जनरेशन, see people in their 40s and 50s, they naturally turn towards their roots everywhere. That is the general trajectory. Most people, they turn to their roots by the time they are in their 40s and their 50s. But the Gen Z is also coming together. I see so many people of a younger age coming together, volunteering, doing whatever it takes. And these are very smart kids. They are very accomplished in whatever they are doing. तरी सुद्धा ते हांगा येतात, ते हांगा जेवण वाडपाचें सगळें करपाचें जी काम करतात, व्हॉलंटियरींग करतात ते. आणि हे स्वामीजी स्वताच इतले वयान इतले यंग आसात. ही इज व्हेरी वायज बट ही इज ऑल्सो यंग. सो द जेन झी ऑल्सो कनेक्ट्स व्हेरी वेल विथ हिम. आणि ॲज अ कम्युनिकेशन्स प्रोफेशनल आय वॉज जस्ट टेलिंग somebody that somebody needs to do a PhD on the communication strategy of this mutt and how it has brought so many people together. So that is really interesting to see, and I'm very happy to see it because our ancestors have sacrificed so much to keep the language alive, to भाषा जिती दवरपाक, देवळां जिती दवरपाक, आमचो धर्म जिती दवरपाक, आमची संस्कृताय जिती दवरपाक. आमच्या आदल्या पिळग्यांनी कितलेशेच त्याग केल्यात. पूण जर आमी हे आमच्या मुखावयल्या जनरेशन्साक आमी जेन्ना पास ऑन करनात, तर अजून in 3-4 generations is going to die out, right? But something like this keeps the community together, keeps the young in the community together. There's a pride in who we are. आणि ते पळोवन म्हाका खरेंच बरें दिसता.
Some of the young generation, they might say, आज कसं गरज आसा कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग जावं, मठ जावं, देवस्थान जावं, आमी अडॉप्ट जावया. It's time of globalization. There are no borders, something like that. Why is this organization or this mutt or the religious ceremonies or amgel kasan saraswat culture asa, traditions asa, why are they important?
See, our culture, our scriptures always believe that व्यक्ति से कुटुंब बड़ा. Family is bigger than an individual. कुटुंब से समाज बड़ा, समाज से राष्ट्र बड़ा, राष्ट्र से धर्म बड़ा. So there is a hierarchy to it. So you always go from the known to the unknown. So when you build a community, it is always your family, then your neighborhood, then all the people coming together, right? So that is how you build a greater whole. You do not just go thinking about the world. You'll never be able to do anything. So that is why binding to your community is very important, which does not mean that you exclude others, which does not mean that you do bhedbhav, which does not mean that you follow very rigid restrictions. But when you get connected to your own roots, when you get connected to your own mutt, when you get to your own traditions, which are basically Hindu traditions, that is our vision, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that you're talking about. So the only way to really understand it is to go back to our own roots. So that is why connecting to the mutt is important. That is why keeping your language alive is important, because the language is your unfortunately आता आमी तुजी कोंकणी वेगळी म्हजी कोंकणी वेगळी म्हणून म्हाका इंग्लिशीन उलोवचें पडटा. पूण आमच्या दोगांक कनेक्ट करपाची जो पळय पूल आसा तो म्हणजे भाशा. ती भाशा जेन्ना आमी शेणयतात तेन्ना मागीर हळू 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 आमची जी संस्कृताय आसा ती हळू 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 डायल्यूट वचत वता. ती वचची न्ही, ताचे खातीर भाशा सांबाळून दवरची, भाशा सांबाळून दवरची, धर्म सांबाळून दवरचो, संस्कृताय सांबाळून दवरची, बिकॉज अल्टिमेटली ऑल दीज आर पार्ट ऑफ हू वी आर. हांव वेन आय टॉक अबाउट गोवान हिस्ट्री हांव सदांच सांगता की वॉट यू आर टुडे इज नॉट द रिजल्ट ऑफ युअर ॲक्शन्स अलोन. इट इज ऑल्सो द चॉयसेस समबडी मेड hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Exactly.
आता म्हजे ancestors कन्वर्ट झाले ना
Right.
ते वेळेने सगून भायर सरले ते सेटल्ड इन कुंकुलिम. दॅट इज वाय आय कॅन कॉल माय सेल्फ शेफाली वैद्या. दॅट इज वाय आय कॅन टॉक अबाउट दिस. दॅट इज वाय आय कॅन स्टडी दिस हिस्ट्री. You are who you are because of the choices that your ancestors made.
Yeah.
And they made those choices after having done a lot of sacrifice, after having borne a lot of hardships. या मठाचीच जर हिस्ट्री वाचली तुम्ही, कम्युनिटीची हिस्ट्री सोडूनच द्या, तर ह्या मठानच संस्कृताय जिती दवरपाक, धर्म जितो दवरपाक, समाजाक स्पिरिच्युअल गायडन्स दिवपाक ह्या मठानच कितले सॅक्रिफायस केले ताची स्टोरी तुमकां कळटली. सो दॅट इज वाय टू रिमेंबर दोज सॅक्रिफायसीस. We are who we are because of the hard work and sacrifice of so many generations. And if we do not owe allegiance to this, we are doing a great disservice to our ancestors. आमकां
Correct.
पितृऋण
Correct.
हिंदू संस्कृतीक 3 ऋणां असतात. सो ताजे खातीर समाजाक एकठांय हाडपा खातीर आपल्या संस्कृतीची जतनाय करपा खातीर हें खूब म्हत्वाचें
And
आसा.
even in the book Sapiens, I recall Yuval Noah Harari. तांणी सांगता human is a social animal म्हणून. आणि
Yes.
the biggest purpose of a human's life is community.
Yes.
कसं नसा हॅपीनेस कसं नसा,
Yes.
नॉट वेल्थ,
Yes.
नॉट कॅपिटलिझम,
Yes.
नॉट कन्झ्युमरिझम.
Yes.
जाल्यार एकजूट जावन घेवन उरचे, टाइम स्पेंड करचे विथ युअर फॅमिली, विथ युअर
Yes.
कम्युनिटी,
Yes.
विथ युअर विलेज पीपल, एव्हरीवन. सो
Yes.
दिस इज द मेन पर्पज ऑफ लाईफ म्हणून एंडाक सांगतो त्या
Yes.
बुकान.
ते ताणी कितें सांगपा जाय ह्या वेदास टोल्ड
एक्झॅक्टली
thousands of years ago.
कमिंग टू.
की
आता आमगेल कसं कम्युनिटी म्हणता आता म्हणता कित्याक जाव का इतलो तो मठा कित्याक वचका ते कसं काम करका हे करका. दिस इज वाय यू शुड डू इट. आफ्टर ऑल दिस
Yes.
वॉट एव्हर हिस्ट्री यू डिस्क्राईब, इतले एन्सेस्टर्सान इतले त्रास घेतला आमगेले हे केले, आम्ही आज कम्फर्टेबल पोझिशनार आसाच कसं नाही ना. जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ युअर 365 days, खाली
Yes.
10 days नाल्यार 5 days इफ यू स्पेंड
समाजा
आणि
खातीर
कम्युनिटी
दिवपाचें.
बिल्ड जाता हे जाता, दॅट्स वॉट गिव्स हॅपीनेस इन टू युअर
Yes.
लाईफ. आणि आमच्या स्वाम्यान कसं जपयज्ञांनी हे केला. आता मी 500 years हिस्ट्री पळयलें, इतलो त्रास घेतला आणि इतलो हार्डशिप्स घेतला कम्युनिटी लोकांक. त्या कम्युनिटीक वापस हाडच्याक आता हांगेल पुण्याचें एग्जाम्पल घेतलें. एक कम्युनिटी डिस्पर्स्ड आशिल्ले, तांकां इट ब्रॉट देम टुगेदर. इतलो लार्जर रोल एक प्ले केला जपयज्ञ आमगेल रामनाम जपाचे हाजे. आमकां आयडिया नाशिल्ला हिस्ट्री दॅट्स वाय हिस्ट्री इज इम्पॉर्टंट. कित्याक आमकां लर्निंग्स मेळटा आनी हिस्ट्रीच्यान आमी आतांसाची आनी आतांच्याच्यान मुखार उरतले. म्हण रिक्वेस्ट करचें म्हळ्यार एक कम्युनिटी जावन उरया, एक हिस्ट्रीच्यान लर्न करून घेना, डिस्पर्स जायनाशी, युनिट जावन घेना. द लार्जर पर्पज ऑफ लाईफ आमी अचीव करया. थँक यू व्हेरी मच मॅम फॉर जॉईनिंग
देव
अस
बरें
टुडे.
करूं.
रियली लर्नड अ लॉट and really honored to have you here.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. देव बरें
Thank you.
करूं. देव बरें करूं.